Also cracking my claw. The claw's cracked.
Oh.
Hi. Welcome
Hello.
to the Emo Social Club. I'm Brian.
I'm Lizzie.
And we have a guest today, Kyle from
Hello.
Soothsayer.
Nice to be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to have Kyle on to talk about emo stuff and taste hot sauces in a series that I want to call Spicy Takes.
Right.
Yes, I fully endorse that. That should be more than a want. That's a need.
Fine. Guys, the series is now called Spicy Takes. Fantastic. So what we're going to do is sort of like, I don't know, kind of stealing hot ones, which I've already done once before anyway. We're just going to eat some hot sauces with some delicious chicky nugs. And McDonald's not a sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet.
Yeah.
I will take a sip of my White Claw, also not a sponsor. Yet.
Yeah.
Maybe the fine folks of Old Style Beer would like to get
Ooh,
involved.
there
I
you
would
go.
love Old Style. Where are you?
Hometown hero.
Hometown heroes, please help.
Please help us.
Please help us. You probably shouldn't ask for a sponsor by reaching out for help.
Please.
Hey, we're drowning. Please help us by giving us your sponsorship. We just want your products. We don't need your money.
It's fine. Which one do you want to start with?
We do have everything in order.
Ooh.
We existed as a business for like 2 years before we actually put them in order of heat when we sold them.
Mhm.
So we finally got that together. Slowly but surely professional.
Okay.
We got Omen on our mild end to Decay on our hot end. All the names are either weird or spooky.
Yeah.
But pretty mid-level. I don't know if we're gonna get some hot ones type sweating, but
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do about that.
Okay.
So now that you, like, obviously because you're tasting these all the time, are you pretty good with, like, just eating spicy food all the time now?
I always eat like pretty spicy food, but if I get a lot of people who tell me like, oh, like this place has like eat these 12 wings in 10 minutes and you get a gift card and your picture on the wall. It's like, no, absolutely not. That's not the kind of, like, I like spicy things. I don't like destroy yourself like
Actual spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. I did that. I went to Strings Ramen down in Chinatown. I did one of the spicy challenges, like the
Oh,
second
no.
tier.
Yeah.
And I was eating it, and I was like, oh, this isn't spicy, so I put more chili sauce in. My friend's like, you're a fool, and I take it.
While you were doing the challenge?
I was like, I'm a fool.
That is, you were
I was
you were
a fool.
chili Icarus
Oh, God.
that day.
I was a
Oh
fool
my
that
God.
day.
All right, let's try the mild one. So tell us a little bit about this while we have a bite.
So Omen, I'm just rooting going for it first.
Oh, there you go.
Omen was one of the first hot sauces that I made that we put out. Our version on a jalapeno garlic, or our version on a salsa verde. It's a jalapeno garlic, so jalapenos, onion, garlic. Pretty simple, but in it being that simple, you can kind of taste everything involved pretty easily.
Mhm. That is really good.
Yeah, that is really good. You get a little bit of heat on like the front of your tongue,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like not overbearing.
This is our like Midwest mom hot sauce. Because this is the ones like when Susan's feeling dangerous at the craft fair. she's
There
like,
we go.
Like, let me try your most mild. It's like,
She's like, I want to be a little spicy
Mhm.
tonight, and that's how I'm gonna do it.
They call me Spicy Susan on the weekend. What do you think is the, like, pinnacle emo album that, like, if somebody was like, this is the album that I think defines the entirety of emo subculture, like, what do you think that album would be?
Are we talking about like emo from like the OG emo, like the late 80s,
Anything.
all the way to now?
But I think if, like, you're just taking what emo as a thing means, like, if we're the emo social club,
Right.
what do we represent?
I think stereotypically it's like early Fall Out Boy and like Three Cheers My Ken.
God damn it.
I feel like that's like a generic answer,
No,
though, but
no,
I
no,
feel
no.
like that's what
God
it is.
damn it, because that was my answer. I was gonna say, like, growing up in Chicago, like, and into that whole scene, it was Take This to Your Grave.
Mm-hmm.
But then if I had to say something that, like, you could tell anyone that defines it, I would say Black Parade, because that's when they just kick the doors off the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think when people are thinking of what emo is, it tends to be like what My Chem looked like in 3 Cheers.
It was very
Yes.
it was very
Yeah.
dramatic.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's the thing that people kind of identify with is like the drama
Yeah.
of it. Like early Panic was also very dramatic in the way that they performed.
I mean, they're still dramatic. Brendan
Oh,
Urie, he's just a
100%.
treasure.
It's so dramatic. But also, like, that's the reason, like, I think everybody got into that version of emo was just the drama of it and the theater performance of it, because it's, like, more... It's just more interesting to watch visually than a lot of what was happening, or, like, you were watching things that were, like, about death and
But
death.
it was pretty beautiful. It was
Yeah.
like making it normal and
Yeah.
like normalizing those emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
Well, we were all dramatic high schoolers.
Oh,
and it felt as like, oh, I could make this my entire personality. This checks all the boxes.
Second sauce. What is this? Tell us about it. It's bright.
Perdition. This is really the one that got us started. I made this it's almost 5 years ago to the date. It was originally called Orange Crushed because I hadn't learned how to be creative with names yet. And I made it, and me and my friend at the time, current partner, Rachel, took it to Kuma's, and I was like, here, try this hot sauce. Mm-hmm. And she grew up in Phoenix, and she was like, yeah, oh, fucking K, Polish white boy from the suburbs of the Midwest. And she tried it and was like, oh, holy shit, that's super good.
Oh,
and then one of the waitresses came by, and she's like, what do you got there? And then she tried it, and I was like, oh, this isn't just being nice, like, she likes it too. And then shared it around, and it's become our flagship bestseller. It's my, like, daily use on everything hot sauce.
More of a kick than the last one.
Big time. But, like, you have, like, that semi-sweet, like, ending finish taste to it. It's really good.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. That's why I use, like, carrot in so many of the ones that we do, because it's sweetness without having to do any, like, sugars or anything artificial.
What is the bigger announcement of 2019? Is it Hella Megatour or My Chemical Romance reuniting?
Oh, MCR.
Oh, yeah, MCR, 100%. Well, Hella Mega, I had to withhold that information for a month, which killed me because we found it at work.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out the entire time because, like, this is a sick lineup. But then I also saw on Twitter that you were to think people would know all of these bands. If not, like, Weezer, like, you know, like, they're just a meme band, basically. But, like, Pinkerton slaps. I know that's a very controversial
It's Spicy Takes. They've become a meme band.
They have become a meme band.
When they put the fat dude from Lost on the cover of their album, they became a meme band.
100%. The fact that people are still, like, seriously, like, Pitchfork doing, like, hard reviews on Weezer, it's like, listen, we need to throw everything out the window and realize that this is not going to happen. But I saw on Twitter people would say, oh, here's a playlist for Green Day if you only listen to Weezer, Fall Out Boy. Here's a playlist for Weezer if you only listen to Green Day.
Yeah,
I don't understand this disconnect.
Yeah.
That's not a Venn diagram of separate things. That's just a fucking circle.
Yeah, like, you should listen to all of these. Like,
Yeah.
I remember someone was like, here are, like, the best Green Day songs. I'm like, first of all, Novocaine is not on there. That is a disgrace. Second of all, how do you not know, like, any of Green Day's music and, like, more than, like, the 3 singles that they have in Incapacity.
Yeah.
Well, 3+ singles. I'm thinking off the top of my head, but I'm like, I just don't get it.
Like, if Green Day is headlining a giant, stadium tour across the United States, and you're like, yeah, I've never heard of that band before. A Spotify playlist isn't going to fix that for you.
No.
It really is not.
A Spotify playlist isn't going to justify a $100 ticket.
No.
Yeah, no, it was $150 per ticket.
Oh.
I just want to tell you, somebody who bought those tickets.
Yeah, and how much were the My Chem tickets, Lizzie?
$150.
Are you going?
Yes!
Hell yeah! Oh my god, I was so sad. Most of this podcast is going to be talking about My Chemical Romance, because
that's most of our podcast.
Yeah, 100%. And Fall Out Boy, even though Brian doesn't like it.
I don't like New Fall Out Boy.
I love New Fall Out Boy. I'll die for Mania. I'll die for Mania.
That's fine.
If they announced that the Chicago stop for the Hella Mega Tour, they were doing either Take This to Your Grave or From Under the Cork Tree in full,
yeah,
take my money.
Yeah.
Take all of it. But I'm not here to listen to the song that you wrote for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like,
I mean, I will say their new album, Believers Never Die Part 2. I don't know why Champions is on there. That is honestly like the worst Fall Out Boy song. It's Spicy Take again. This is the worst Fall Out Boy song
no,
I have ever heard.
Get the mild sauce because that's not spicy.
Yeah, I feel like
get the ranch out because that's not spicy.
Let's go, guys.
You saying this is the worst Fall Out Boy song is like, is that the competition? We're trying to figure out the worst one?
No, stop. No.
There's a few.
We're not talking Mania. I would die for Mania.
There's a few on that one that are there.
That is a spicy take.
Alright, next sauce. This one is a bit darker green.
Ooh.
Tell us about this one.
Alright, so now we're moving into our band collaboration series, which has been one of my favorite parts about doing this. This sauce is called This Sauce Kills Pussheads. It's made for the Eradicator from here. It's my buddy Andy's band. I met him actually the first day I ever sold Soothsayer hot sauce up at a venue that we now co-own in Milwaukee with a number of other people, of course. So his band is based on a Kids in the Hall sketch called The Eradicator, where he's working his way up the B-squash ladder and squaring off against Brett Armstrong. I know that's the only Kids in the Hall sketch I've ever seen. And he might watch this, and I'm sorry in advance, I pretended like I knew what you were talking about for a long fucking time. But this one's definitely one of our more interesting. It's squash, black garlic, Thai chili, and activated charcoal.
Oh, damn. So that's definitely where it gets...
It's a little bit
color.
mild to me, but it's really good. It's easy to, like, keep eating, and then the spice kind of hits you a little bit later, but it's bearable.
It's weird. This is... we made this. It was the first time I ever, like, was presented with kind of, like, a chemistry issue in doing this. And it was like, all right, cool. Like, I did, like, this little test batch, and it was this perfect level of heat. Everything was great. And then we scaled it up. And because of the activated charcoal, it sucked all of the heat out.
Oh, I see.
And it was crazy. It was like, even though the proportions were the same, like, it was a whole weird thing. I smoked a bunch of weed and got existential about it.
Well, there you go. How do you feel about, because I know a lot of people get weird about activated charcoal. Do people, like, freak out on you? Like, you're going to die if you eat it? I mean, listen, I'm going to die 10 years later.
It's not real charcoal.
I have never gotten that, but we do get a lot of, like, Wicker Park moms are like, oh, it has activated charcoal? Like, I'll take it.
Susan came back.
She came back. She's feeling really feisty after her 2 claws.
Purifying? Do you have anything that will, like, just clear?
I need to detox my system. I gotta pick up the kids from the sitter at 10.
And if anything for my
Put it in your kale smoothie.
Yeah.
What does it go best in? Kale smoothies.
Ooh, interesting.
Big detox.
Also, is that, like, now a technique that people can have if they, like, eat spicy food and they have to, like, get it out of their mouth? They can just put some activated charcoal in their tongue?
I don't... We're gonna try that.
Oh, shit. What is your favorite Chicago emo band?
I gotta say, obviously, Fall Out Boy and probably Alkaline.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alkaline Trio.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're counting them,
there you go.
I have to count it, but I'm gonna caveat that with Crimson and Before.
Yeah, that's fine.
Like Agony and Irony. This
Calling
Addiction
All Skeletons is a good song. This Addiction is like a... I consider This Addiction as a Alkaline Trio greatest hits with all new material. It's like you took a bunch of songs that like would go on a greatest hits and then just like redid them with new words and like changed up a chord here and there.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the same album. Like,
I guess, well, My Shame is True is pretty decent.
My Shame is True is very good. And the new album is incredible.
Yeah, this thing is I love it.
I haven't...
Oh, Spice. Oh, the Spice.
I haven't listened to it all the way through.
Ooh.
The Spice.
Because I've heard so many good things, and I don't know if I can handle that level of disappointment.
I got you.
I need to do it. I'll probably do that later tonight, but I mean, it's good.
He's gonna call us in. He'd be like, guys, listen.
Like, I was very shocked at how much I thought it was like one of their best since like Crimson.
Yeah.
Good Morning. I'm like, this album is very good.
Ooh.
I thought My Shame is True was really good too. Like, I listened to that constantly when it came out, and then like, I was kind of shocked at how much I loved the new one. Next, spiciness.
So this one is our collaboration with the Flatliners from Toronto, Ontario. This one actually just won an award. It took the first place in the 2019 International Flavor Awards in the Chipotle category. Mm-hmm. One of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
I really like to use our hot sauce as an ingredient too. Mm-hmm. And like I really like to use this as a marinade. Anytime I like make ribs, if you like tofu, goes super well with that and soaks in very well.
Oh, this is really good.
This is so good. The smoky is like not too smoky. It's like perfect.
I mean, it's chipotle pepper, morita pepper, and ghost pepper. So the ghost pepper gets that like kind of like back of the mouth heat to it.
Hell yeah.
But what I was saying, here's another spicy take that I have heard quite a few times in the scene from people in the punk scene when it comes to Alkaline Trio. A lot of people refuse to acknowledge that they are an emo band, and they're like vehemently against it.
Look at their merch. Look at all of their merch.
I'm aware of that.
Oh yeah,
These punk kids are not aware. They don't want to accept it.
Well, it's so weird and like for as ingrained as like through the business and through like just my personal fucking time and preference, like in the punk scene around Chicago and like going down to Fest a ton and just that whole fucking flannel crew. And like it's so weird how much people still try to distance themselves from emo and just like it's cringy. Everyone did something cringy when they grew up, but like it's fun. It's still like it's good music. And I think that's like that present. Well, I wasn't listening to emo music. Like I was listening to Minor Threat. And like fucking cool, dude. That just means you were boring as shit when you were 15. Like,
oh, that's me.
Well,
but you were listening to Fall Out Boy and like Having Panic. Well, like you wanted to have some fun. Like I mean, also like everyone has those different things, but like to completely deny something like fun that people like because like you want to be true is lame as hell.
Yeah.
And that's why like people would think like Alkaline Trio is not emo. Like Alkaline Trio was on My Chemical Romance's first 2 fucking nationwide tours.
Yep.
So it's Reggie in the Full Effect, which slam.
Oh, 100%.
Also, Reggie in the Full Effect, Get Up Kids.
Ooh.
Yeah, ooh, another spicy.
I don't think that's that spicy. Old emo, because of the way it was recorded, does not sound good now. It just sounds like you were recording it in the basement and like the songs don't therefore stand up because no one's going out and playing them live and re-recording them and all that. It's like you have this as the thing that lasts throughout time, and if it's recorded like shit, then it sounds like shit forever.
Well, yeah.
Like My Chem's first record is gonna sound that way forever.
But that's fine.
Well, it's fine.
That's
but
fine.
It just depends on what.
I'm gonna go more Your That's Fine than Your That's Fine.
It's fine. There's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
My Chem isn't going to go back. They're not going to all-time low it and go back in and re-record it.
Which I don't understand why all-time low did that to
Nothing Personal.
They did it for Nothing Personal for all-time low. I don't understand why.
Just because they're doing the 10-year, I think.
I mean, I get that.
A Census Failed did the same thing with their
with the EP.
Yeah.
I think so. I saw them at Riot Fest, all their sets there, and when I saw like that they were doing that, I was like, oh, like I've seen them recently, and like Buddy can't scream anymore.
Okay.
He just doesn't really have it, like not in, like with the longevity that he could do, but like that whole album is like mostly that. It's their like heaviest and like most difficult like vocal album that way. So I'm like, oh, you did this so you can have like something to say like, no, we're doing the re-release version. Yeah. Which I think is like, that's fair. And it's slightly different composition.
Yeah. I think it's like you're not 15 anymore. You're not like when I saw the starting line way back in the day, Kenny was like, yeah, I can't sing the same way I did when I was 16.
No, when I writing I remember that.
Yeah, and it's like your voice changes as a guy, like you can't sing as high.
Puberty happens.
Puberty just full on happens. Just totally happens. And like, what are you supposed to do when all the songs were written when you were a child and like now you're like, shit.
Well, the thing
I have to perform that again as a 30, 40-year-old.
A lot of people like can't adapt, obviously. Like there's only so many artists who have that ability to do it. But it does come to a certain point where you have to be like, okay, I gotta own up to this. Yeah. Like I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hope that never happens for me.
Oh.
May we all stay gold together. Yeah.
Cheers. Next sauce.
All right. This will be the weirdest hot sauce you've ever had on chicken. This is a strawberry lavender hot sauce that we made for the band Turnspit from here in Chicago, R.I.P. I've known Jillian for a long time, and we'd always kind of talked about doing this, and then they were putting out their full length and wanted to do it, and I was like, all right, cool, like, and I usually ask bands, like, do you have a flavor profile, like an ingredient, like something to go off of? And they came back and said, like, we want lavender in it. And I said, fucking great. This whole industry of food that's built on, like, spice and intense flavors, and you want to pick one of the most delicate things that you can find.
Listen, I want to be relaxed.
Yeah. we were supposed to have Jillian on this podcast, but then we never solved it. So would still love to have her on because she's
Jillian,
awesome.
come back and do it. You're awesome. This is
So
awesome.
sorry we canceled on you.
So sorry.
And we never got back in touch with you.
I'm sorry that I'm sickly.
Yes, you're a wonderful musician, and we need to have you back, even though after we were going to have you on and canceled, Turnspit broke up, so
it's
we'll have to figure out something else to talk about.
She's still playing as Hi Ho.
Yeah, we'll just talk about that. We'll talk about Hi Ho.
Yeah.
So yeah, when they did this, and it took a long time to figure out what strawberry would go good with, and then I did it, and I wasn't, honestly, when I first put it out, I was like, cool, we're going to do it for the album, like, I'm happy to do this for my friends, I don't know if this is going to be worth, like, keeping on. And then we did it, brought it out to a couple markets, and people freaked out, because it is, like, so different. And as it's gone on, and like I was saying before we started filming, there's so many more uses for it than I ever thought. Professional adult peanut butter and jellies.
Ooh.
Gotta spice them
up.
Adult peanut butter and jellies.
It's just a peanut butter and jelly, but with just like a tiny bottle of vodka.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, this is escalating quickly.
Yes.
My spicy take on that is I don't like peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, well. I wish we could have gotten to the rest of that.
Yeah, alright, sorry.
We're gonna
Alright, this is
right
canceled.
I really don't know where to go after
We're canceling the show. I'm canceling my hot sauce company.
Yeah.
I'm just so distraught.
Shut it down.
Yep, everything.
Shut down.
Cancel it. Everything's
Shut down
canceled.
the show, shut down Chicago, shut down everything.
Oh no.
There's a person in this world that doesn't like peanut butter and jelly, which is like 3 ingredients, one of them bread, that everybody likes.
I mean, I like the bread.
Except for we're sorry if you can't eat gluten.
I never liked it. I don't like the jelly consistency, and the peanut butter just kind of, I like almond butter.
It was quite literally the only thing I ate for lunch at school from kindergarten through like sophomore year of high school.
I ate cheese sandwiches.
I mean, those are also good ingredients.
Yeah.
But, like,
but cold cheese sandwiches?
Yeah. Because I didn't like peanut butter and jelly.
Fair.
I have to think about the future of this podcast.
Wow!
Basic humanity has changed. So I want to get into a conversation about, I guess I'll say old emo versus new emo, with an NU and the umlaut, like new metal, new emo.
Oh.
No, not really. But we listened to this podcast the other day.
Vox Media.
Switched on Pop, which is a podcast I listen to a lot, and then they usually talk about like music and like how it's orchestrated, how it's composed, and like comparing it like new pop music and how like chord progressions are similar to chord progressions from like classical music. And then they're like, yeah, we're gonna talk about emo music because somebody from Vox was like, I love it, we're gonna talk about it on this music podcast. And honestly, it was a very good dive into like the
100%.
history of emo, like the old emo styles, and then like where that came from, and then into like My Chem, Fall Out Boy, and all that people knew. And they interviewed the guy from Washed Up Emo.
Yeah, Tom Mullen.
Yeah, Tom Mullen from Washed Up Emo. Interviewed him about it. And I'm burping because I'm...
Yeah.
We're getting to that point.
It's the
okay.
it's the crisp dry flavor of a cool crisp White Claw
Mango
hard
White
seltzer,
Claw.
mango flavored. Available hopefully everywhere you go. Yeah, so they interviewed Tom Mullen about more that end of the emo genre. So I don't know how I want to describe that compared to like what we are talking about as emo for us, but I was like definitely leaning more towards like this is what emo became, and there was a little bit of that sense of this is what emo used to be, and like man, it changed really when like the kids got their hands on it.
Yeah.
And then the immediate follow up from Vox was a podcast about OK Boomer, and I was like, same. So it's a little bit same. It's like, man, like these kids, and they don't know, and like now everybody thinks we're all like sad all the time and we wear makeup, and I was like, what?
Are you not?
Yeah. But like also we do.
We do, and we still do.
That's what we did. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that like we as I'd say us as a team, as a group here, grew up more on the more current side of emo, where it was like the dramatic side of it, the My Chem, the Fall Out Boy, even a little like more of like a poppy edge to it rather than like the alternative indie edge that it was. Do you think that's like still emo, or do you think it's like that there's an emo and then there's like this bastardization that came after it?
I'll give a nod to all my. The more musically talented my friends get, the more shitty they are about music.
Fair.
So I mean, it's like they are two different things, and I'd hope we're past the point where like everyone's all butthurt that they're being put in this category of like like the girl with the Asking Alexandria shirt, like two very different things. Like I definitely like grew up like before I heard like American football or Braid or Cap and Jazz or anything like that. Texas is the reason. I'm just trying to name as many of them as I can to sound cool in case Vox wants to interview me at some point.
There's some people on the other end of this just like, yes.
Yeah, you get it. Yes. And then I'm going to disappoint them by saying that shit is boring. No, I mean, it's they are two different things, and they're definitely, I guess, should be or should have been. I don't think it matters at this point, like two monikers. But yeah, it's such a weird thing to be like, oh, we're just like these loner kids and we're gonna play these basement shows and like we're not gonna play sports and we're not gonna be popular and all this shit. And then a bunch of kids heard that and said, oh my god, this resonates with me, I'm gonna make music. And then those kids made music, and all of the people that inspired them bullied the shit out of them.
Yes.
Yeah. We talked a lot about gatekeepers, and it always seems like, even Tom Mullen was saying on the podcast that it's very like community based, that emo itself is about the community around it, not like what they were playing necessarily. And then I'm like, yeah, but then somebody else took it, created a new community, and you're like, that doesn't count. It's like,
exactly.
But what you're saying is the same idea as anybody building their own community. It's just different styles of doing the same thing, and somebody else attached that moniker to it. Nobody else, like, nobody was coming out, like, My Chem wasn't like, we're emo. They're like, no, we are who we are. I like comic books and nerdy shit, and I want to do, like, goth-tinged, like, punk rock, like the Misfits. And it's like, yeah, it just became something.
Yeah, some journalist didn't have a hole to place it, and then said that, and then people ran with it.
Yeah. I mean, people still run with it. I will say, I know a lot of people still who are more in the indie music scene, and while I do also like, you know, the traditional like indie pop music here, it's huge in Chicago, and there's a lot of great bands, but they'll be like, oh, I only listen to American football, but I don't listen to Fall Out Boy, or like My Chemical Romance, for example, because that's what's bigger in like, with like the early 2020s who know more emo. And I'm like, but why? I don't understand. Even some bands nowadays, because there's a big emo revival going on, and it's really great music, and I found out maybe I am getting too old, because I'm like, this hits, and I'm like, I don't relate to this anymore, but it slaps. I'm like, oh no, I don't turn 25 for another month, am I getting up there in age? Oh no.
Old.
Somehow, you saying that, still not as painful as the peanut butter and jelly comment. But still
far
painful.
Even nowadays, still, there's a lot of bands that are kind of, I would classify them as emo because of the lyrical content that they involve, the shows that they have been able to play between the indie and the emo scene, which is great marketing on their part, not trying to limit themselves. But even some of them will vehemently say, I am not emo, I am indie pop rock. And it's like, no, you are emo.
I'm not this category. I'm these other categories.
Literally, and I mean, like, these bands will tweet out, they're like, I'm writing more sad songs about not having a significant other. Do you guys want to hear it? They're like, but I'm not emo. I'm like, that's immediate. That is what it is. 100%.
That's why we all got into this.
Yeah. Like that happened from the beginning of emo to the whatever is happening in emo now.
Right,
it's like that's been the long running statistic of it.
Like, you couldn't even have been like bullied or anything. Cause I mean, I have friends who were like, I was bullied in high school. I'm like, how does that happen?
I mean, it's just like sad teenagers not getting laid.
Yeah.
And if you're right about that, you're crossing an emo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next sauce.
Here we go. Nice and orange.
All right. Yeah. Another bright orange boy.
Another bright orange. This one is habanero, ginger, and carrot.
Oh.
We made this for our friends out of New York, Make War, who also, quick plug, put out a banger of an album on Fat Records. Go pick it up or listen on Spotify. Give them money. Just give them money.
Yeah.
Give them money.
It is a good band. I will attest to that.
So even though it shares a lot of ingredients with the other habanero, very different profile.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ginger up front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love ginger. I will just chew on raw ginger knobs.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure anyone who is in my immediate vicinity afterwards is very appreciative of.
So it's good for digestion.
Mm-hmm.
It's tasty with sushi. You know?
Fuck me, I have never put this hot sauce on sushi.
Oh shit.
Learning all kinds of things.
Yeah, man.
Opening your mind,
I got
expanding.
Learning that I need to put the hot sauce on sushi. And you can't be trusted for your opinions on peanut butter and jelly.
He opens a beer.
Learned. Let's say that you're not Lizzie and you're not going to be at the My Chemical Romance reunion. So it's the two of us. One song that you want to hear them play.
It would never happen. But my favorite My Chem song is Early Sunsets Over Monroeville.
Do you think they're not going to play that?
I doubt that they would play it. They would never play Early Sunsets right now. I mean, maybe, but I doubt that they would play it.
Yeah, they stopped playing anything off the first record, so.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I guess after the first time I saw them, they didn't play anything off that.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, that's my favorite album, and I know they're never going to play anything other than, like, probably Honey and Vampires.
They'll play Vampires.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not going main singles, but I would like to. You know, if I was there,
right.
What would I want to hear? I would want to hear probably Jet Set Life.
Ooh,
I think
that's a good one.
Always a good one.
Jet Set Life has, yeah, that's way up there.
It's a great song that I don't know if they'll play. They would,
Maybe.
I'm assuming there's going to be some video of it, and like definitely there will be set lists, and I'm like, yeah, I would hope they would play like something like Jet Set Life, and
I just hope that because it's the first show, they wouldn't play just the singles. They'd be like, hey, guess what?
You came all this way, deep cuts.
Yeah, I need deep cuts. I need you to play Desolation Row so I can literally murder someone in this bit.
Desolation Row.
I know.
It's not a death wish, just a fashion statement.
Yeah.
That one,
hands down. Also, I'd like to, what's the fucking, they did a cover for The Watchmen.
The Desolation Row, that's what it is.
Duh, yeah. No, they would never play that. That'd be incredible.
Absolutely not. It would be completely I think they would just lose my fucking
total
mind.
banger, but no, they wouldn't. Alright, next sauce. Another greenly friend.
Green Boy.
So this is another one of our award winners. This we did in collaboration with Typesetter from right here in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
It is jalapeno, roasted serrano, ghost pepper, tomatillo, tequila, cilantro, shit ton of garlic.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's the type of green sauce I'm looking for.
So I always love the verde sauce, like whenever I get Mexican food, but there's never any heat to it. And so this was kind of the answer to that. When we put this hot sauce out, it was also a way that you could have gotten their, I think it was, number 5, their 5th EP. We released via hot sauce bottle.
Oh, yeah.
And so around the neck of the bottle, we had a download code for the album on Bandcamp. So that was, it was a pain in the ass to tape all of these codes to all of these hot sauce bottles. But a super cool idea, because I was like, I looked it up and I was just like, no one has ever released hot sauce as a musical medium before.
It's hard to put it in a CD player.
It's 2019. We gotta go.
Or too easy to put in a CD.
Yeah. That was my bad dad joke of the episode. Your collaborations with bands, have they also just been your friends, or like do you pick like certain bands that you want to work with of your friends? I'm imagining you're just friends with a lot of bands.
Half of them, like I was like Eradicator, Turnspit, and Typesetter are from here. Mm-hmm. And so just like people I've gotten to know and like who've had like very interesting projects that would seem to be a good fit for. And then like we did a hot sauce with Direct Hit, and that was like, oh, I'm a big fan of Direct Hit. Dome Splitter is an awesome name for a hot sauce. Let's see if we can do it.
That is a good name for a hot sauce.
like with the flatliners, like I met Chris down at Fest one year, and he was trying out our hot sauce, and he was like, you know, flatliners would be a good name for a hot sauce. And then inside, while I was trying not to fucking lose my mind, I'm just like, yeah, we should talk soon. Here's my card.
Love it.
Here's me being professional, and then turn around and just squealing. Like Make Warren Old Wounds, which is one we're about to try, which is really the test of the heat. Yeah, just people have come up, like when we've been doing events, or like randomly Less Than Jake emailed us.
Yeah.
Saying like, do you guys put out hot sauce for us? I'm just like, you mean like the science of selling yourself short, Less Than Jake? Like Hello Rocky, Less Than Jake? Like the disc that's probably stuck in my Walkman, Less Than Jake? And it was funny, like I had to put my phone away for like a couple hours and not look at it because it was like, I can't respond right away.
Yeah.
It was just like, nope, gotta play it cool. So it kind of comes from all over the place, and it's always fun, and like it's something I wish that I had more bandwidth to do. And like as we've kind of grown as a business and gotten into like more like restaurants and stores and become more of like an everywhere thing, not just like a punk community thing. Like there's certain people that I've really wanted to work with, but like it's just not feasible right now, which hopefully we'll get around and we'll make everyone a hot sauce, and we'll put out 1 million different kinds of hot sauce, because there's only one so far that I've put out that I really didn't like.
I also mentioned that you did a collab with Sleep On It as well, friends of ours.
That was not me.
That was not you.
So that was this company, this dude, Chicago Johnny. He makes an excellent jardiniere, which I will give him credit for before I just absolutely shit on him right now. I got an email, we were peripherally aware of each other's companies, and he reached out to me and he's like, I see you do band collaboration hot sauces. That's something I really want to do. Like, do you have any advice for me? Like, I'm happy to answer anyone's questions about hot sauce. Like, I've give people recipes to like try it at home. It's a cool thing to do. It's fun and impresses people. I'm happy to share it. But like, it's like, here's like, you're a new company. Like, this is your thing. Like, can you tell me how you do your thing? And so I can do it. And then at one point, he asked me to produce the band hot sauces for him. Yeah. Oh. And then he started like, then I was just like, no, like, I don't have enough bandwidth to do my own things, let alone do like your thing that's ripping off my thing. And then all of a sudden I see these hot sauces come out, and like some of the people he's gotten to work with are really cool. Like, I mean, I'm jealous he got to Sleep On It first. They're good dudes. They're a good band. If you guys want a better hot sauce, please let me know. Spicy takes. But no, like I've seen him out, and like it's good for him, I guess. Like also like fuck you. You kind of tried to like steal my thing and then make me do it for you. So not totally on board with that. But the Sleep On It hot sauce is tight. I did pick that up at CBA just because I wanted to like support Sleep On It, and that one's pretty good. But I could do better.
Alright, let's get to the last hot sauce.
Alright.
Which is supposed to be the spiciest.
It is our spiciest. It is made with Carolina Reaper pepper, which is the hottest pepper available commercially. So we made this with our friends out of New Jersey, Old Wounds.
Oh, that's good.
They are what I would call they're like a throwback to like original like emo hardcore. Like they have like very theatrical lyrics, very good stage presence. I mean, they're a fucking awesome band, and they wanted to make a hot sauce.
This boy's hot, but it's really, really good.
Does like everybody who's contacted you, and nobody like was like, I want the hottest hot sauce you make?
These guys wanted it to be pretty fucking hot, but then we did like our collaboration with Pew Pew Pew, which is called after one of their songs, Asshole Pandemic, and that just forced our hand. Yeah. Like you can't make a hot sauce named Asshole Pandemic without it being
That's fair.
It's a pretty mild name.
Yeah,
right. You know?
Oh, Susans
of the world love them some Asshole Pandemic.
They love Asshole Pandemic.
It's the major detox.
Because they just think like, oh, that's so cheeky.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely spicy. I mean, I'm fine.
Yeah, and I mean, even though it does have like one of the hottest peppers, like it's blended with other things.
Again, it makes it bearable. It's like the best thing. So like people could try it and not be like, oh my god. I mean, unless you're like really white, but.
Well, I mean,
Susan.
Listen, Susan. You would assume that like people would want to make this the spiciest thing now because hot sauce is like Hot Ones has made it very like popular.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like getting my
See
tongue
now,
out.
it's like a delayed.
It's getting my tongue.
It sneaks up on you a little bit.
Yeah. So do you think that like people are now? Yeah. All right.
See.
We got there.
Yeah. It's just my tongue is not ready for it. Do you think that like more people are looking for like really spicy like or maybe it's like a dude thing. They're just like, I want a spicy thing you have. I'm a tough guy.
I mean, I've seen. I think it's the majority that, like, it's kind of like a joke. Like, fuck with your friends, kind of prove yourself.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a weird masculinity thing attached to it for a lot of people. Mm. But I mean, there's a bunch of people I know who just like this interests them. Like, I mean, there is an endorphin rush that comes with eating like hyper spicy things. So for some people that does it. Like they don't smoke weed. They just eat like 2 million Scoville pepper extracts. Personally, stick to weed. Yeah. I don't think that we're ever gonna move into anything like that. We like to keep our stuff like pretty middle of the road. Like, yeah, we got to the hottest one, but we're still having a conversation with some pauses. But I mean,
but we're doing well.
Yeah. It's not like 80% of the Hot Ones episodes where they get to the last question and like the celebrity is just like glaring at Sean Evans like, how did my publicist let this happen? Yeah. Final spicy take.
The final take.
I can't stand
it. The final take. I don't know why. This is our first episode of this. We don't know what it's going to be.
There we go.
The final
hand
take.
motions.
Hand motions.
Yes.
Alright, spicy take. I've only released one product that I was ever just completely not happy with, and that was the hot sauce that we made for the now defunct local band Tens. We were challenged to make a hot sauce that put 10 different kinds of peppers in it, and it turned out like dog shit. And there's only one person I know that likes it, and that is Alex Samotis, and you have terrible fucking taste buds if you like that. Thank you for supporting me. You're a wonderful human being, but you're wrong. Also, everyone needs to grow the fuck up and listen to Attack every now and then.
Ooh. Yeah, that's fair.
Well, alright. Well, that was the first episode of what I called Spicy Takes at the beginning of the episode, which apparently became the episode. So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Kyle, for bringing all of the delicious sauces. And we will we'll see you later. Catch you on the next one. Outro.